Yellow again, guys. It's Echo Chair here, back with another video on the channel. It's been some while since I've last posted, guys. I hope you're gonna enjoy this video. This is what if a Minato survived the Naruto's attack. So we're gonna see, how Naruto's life would change, pretty much. Cause with the Minato being there, he would he would make his son's life much better. Yeah, slight warning: Kushina is not gonna survive. Sorry for that. Kushina might not survive this. So let's get straight into this video. So we're gonna start off this video at the Naito's attack pretty much. Minato is fighting the masked man who claims himself to be Madara Uchiha. Currently, they're clashing blades, going left and right pretty much. Minato is flashing, this flying Raijin, going everywhere pretty much. So, as this fight goes on, Minato sees, like pretty much there's no point, the Naito is attacking the village, and he's wasting time fighting this guy. So, what Minato ends up doing, he pretty much, uses his Flying Thunder God level 2 and cuts, both of the man's arms off pretty much. The man, still does his Kamui thing, retreating, and, he also takes his arms and he retreats. So pretty much after he retreats, Minato then goes and grabs Naruto as well as Kushina. As he then, arrives at where the Ninetales is, he pretty much, does not do the Reaper Death Seal. No, he doesn't do the Reaper Death Seal. He pretty much uses, another seal, but also using the 8 tetragram seal. He also, has the help of, the third Hokage who arrives in time and helps Minato seal the Ninetales within Naruto. So pretty much the whole Ninetales has been sealed into a young Naruto. Kushina, then turns to Minato and, Kushina starts to tell Minato that, she might not make it, and, she also tells him that she loves him, and she tells him, she makes Minato promise one thing: take care of our son, Minato. I'll be watching, I'll be watching you from heaven, pretty much. So, Minato is pretty sad about this, but he understands, the predicament he's in. He pretty much understands that he has to take care of his son, the only thing, that his beloved wife Kushina has left for him. So pretty much, Minato takes this to mind, and, he's gonna do everything in his power to make Naruto strong. Kushina, also names Naruto, the heir of the Uzumaki in the Uzumaki clan, pretty much. And so Naruto's hair is like different in this. What if Naruto's hair is half blonde and half red, pretty much. So it's blonde and red. So Naruto eventually dyed into one color. Just leave it like that, pretty much. So continuing on with the video, after the Naruto has been sealed up, Kushina eventually dies, which Minato is sad about. He's like depressed, but he's the Hokage, for God's sake, and he has to put himself together. So Minato then goes to the council meeting, where Danzo is and all the civilian members and all that stuff. They then ask Minato, what happened about the Ninetales. Minato then says, the Ninetales has been sealed away pretty much. Which they didn't ask where the Ninetales has been sealed, which Minato says, it has been sealed away in my own son, pretty much. People are shocked that Minato had a wife, pretty much, and they're like, your son, but you see the Ninetales, isn't it now a demon or something like that? Which Minato then releases, a large dosage of killing intent, pretty much, which silences them the fuck up. He's like, if anyone, tries to harm my son, you see why, they called me the Hero Flash, pretty much. So, after this meeting, Minato, the third Hokage, Jiraiya, is also there. Tsunade has also arrived pretty much, because she's heard, about the news, and she came back to the village pretty much, because there's young Naruto. So Tsunade is like Minato's mother in this. So Minato also is like the Senju. Tsunade married let's say Yaishen Namikaze pretty much, and had Minato. So yeah, it might be strange, but continuing on with what if. So Tsunade is also here. She's gonna help Minato raise young Naruto along with Jiraiya, and we all know that Jiraiya is the gallant pretty much. We like that guy. He's like the best character. So just one quick question, guys: if you were to revive anyone between Neji and Jiraiya, who pretty much would you choose? Pretty much, I choose Jiraiya because Kakashi needs that each paradise continuation though. So back to the story. So Minato, Jiraiya, Tsunade, as well as the third Hokage now in the office, and they're discussing pretty much. Minato has been told, that the damage has been caused to the village pretty much. And Minato then says, so that there's a lot of damage. It'll take a while for us to regroup these forces pretty much. As third Hokage nods his head and saying, yeah, it might take a while. But Minato then decides, it might take us a while, He then, sends an ambu to summon Danzo pretty much. Danzo, pulls up with his cane pretty much, looking as he always does. He's like, yes, O Lord Okage, you've summoned me. Minato is then like, I'm Danzo, I know that, your Anbu is still operating, and, I need them now. I'm reintegrating your Anbu back into the village. Which, Danzo smiles about pretty much, and Minato then says, they'll be under my direct command, Danzo. Send me a list of their names and everything, and their details pretty much. Which Danzo, has no qualms with, pretty much. He has no qualms with it, so, he agrees. And they start to chat, continuing on their chatting. So I'm gonna time skip this a bit. My time skip this to 4-year-old Naruto. So pretty much Naruto at 4 years old, pretty much he said, a good life pretty much. He has his grandmother, his grandfather as well. He also has his dad, Minato told Naruto about his mom pretty much, which Naruto was pretty excited about, he heard the stories about it, that, she was like, the red hot habanero. And Naruto was interested in all this. He was like, "Oh, wow, she's so cool." Naruto, says. So Naruto is like, he's enticed. Like pretty much, he loves, like the legacy, his mother left for him. Pretty much, so, Minato also tells Naruto that his mother loved to practice seals, which Naruto asked, if they could give him a book on seals, and they gave him a book on seals, and it showed Naruto was a prodigy, at 4 years old. Imagine at 4 years old. So today, is like the 10th of October. It's pretty much Naruto's birthday. He's gonna turn 5 today. So it's not really that much a big party. It's only like like the clan elders pretty much, or clan leaders of clans, which are there, and as well as the third Hokage and another few important people. Yeah, like the fire daimyo is also there. Sorry about that. Yeah, the fire daimyo is also there. So now Minato is chatting, with all these people. Naruto pretty much, he's talking, with some of these children of the clan elders, pretty much like the clan heirs, pretty much. He's talking, to Ino, Shikamaru, Choji, Hinata. Um, what else was the clan? Yeah, and and young Sasuke too. He's also been chatting with young Sasuke. So coaching on the story, Naruto, gets presented with these gifts. He's given, the summoning contract of the toads and the slugs, another book on sealing. He's also given his mother's katana as well as, like the flying Raijin kunai by his father, who said that, he'll start training Naruto soon. So pretty much Naruto is lucky, pretty much, and he's happy, that he's experiencing life like this. So continuing on, like we're gonna time skip this, until like Naruto is like 7 years old pretty much. It's almost time for Naruto to enter the academy. And Naruto's excited about the academy, he wants to be a shinobi like his dad, he wants to become a Hokage. Which Minato smiles at Naruto as today, is like the day, Minato is gonna train Naruto for a bit before he goes to work, because it's like the day, he's like free, or it's his holiday. So pretty much, Naruto wakes up, does his morning ritual, he heads downstairs where he sees, Tsunade, and she's, making breakfast. He also sees, Jiraiya sitting at the table writing something, which, he's just curious about, and he goes and sees, and asks, hey, grandfather Jiraiya, what are you writing? Naruto asks, Jiraiya then says, oh no, Naruto, I'm writing my book. Which Naruto then says, can I see? Which, Jiraiya then says, oh, only when you're older, young Naruto, only when you're older, Jiraiya says. As Naruto then sits at the table and she's gonna give him some breakfast, which I can just say it's just like some udon or some ramen and shit. Pretty much Naruto then eats. His father then comes downstairs, he then says, oh hello there, Naruto. Naruto then says, hey dad. Pretty much Naruto's excited as he smiles, Naruto then ruffles Naruto's hair as he takes some toast and some eggs, and he eats up that dinner. He says like, Naruto, come along. As Naruto then goes over to his father and he says goodbye to Shizune, Jiraiya, and Tsunade. As Naruto and Minato then start walking. They start walking until they arrive at a training ground, which is training ground 7. Minato then starts, to teach Naruto, how to unlock his chakra. As Minato tells Naruto that, you're gonna feel a warm sensation, and you have to pull on it. So, Naruto does exactly that as he pulls on this warm sensation pretty much, and his chakra, it fucking explodes. Just like, like 3 tiers amount of chakra pretty much, it explodes, Minato is, he's flabbergasted by this. Is like, what? And Minato also notices something strange, pretty much. He starts to see, like the ground under Naruto cracks and trees start to come out of it. Minato is surprised by this, like, what? How is this possible? No, it can't be. The wood style, Minato says. You know, he's surprised, that Naruto might actually have wood style. So, Minato then says, wow, Naruto, it seems you might actually be a prodigy. I have to train you to the best of my ability then. So, Minato then engages Naruto and starts to teach Naruto how to throw some kunai, some shuriken, pretty much, all the, like, the most important stuff. Naruto then asks his father, about a clone. He's been trying not to perform, like the clone jutsu, and he's failing at it. Naruto then tells Naruto to do the clone jutsu. As Naruto then does the clone jutsu, his clones, all appear, dead and lifeless, pretty much. And Naruto then says, "Oh, that's the problem." He then teaches Naruto, the shadow clone jutsu. As Naruto then, does the shadow clone jutsu, and Naruto then tells Naruto, the secret of shadow clones. Which Naruto then looks at his father, that dumb look, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, why don't you use it for paperwork?" Pretty much. Which Naruto, is godsmacked. He never thought about it. He's like, "Oh, fucking hell, I never thought about it. Thank you, Naruto, Zero, for Naruto's hair." Then says, "Okay, Naruto, let me take you out, for some ramen, pretty much." Naruto then says, "Yay, ramen!" As Naruto then ruffles Naruto's hair as they walk, towards the ramen stand, When they arrive at the ramen stand, then see, like the old man serving some ramen. As Naruto then rushes inside to says, "Hey, old man!" As the old man then says, "Oh, young Naruto, how are you?" As Naruto says, "I'm fine, old man. Huh? Can I have some ramen?" You know, the old man chuckles and says, "Okay, Naruto, let me give you the Naruto special." Which Naruto is pretty much happy. He has got a dish named after him. So the Naruto special is pretty much is like a big bowl of ramen. Like those big bowl eaten by competitive eaters item. Yeah, he's eating that pretty much. So Naruto starts to eat it, and Naruto then, is like, chuckling as he sees Naruto. Naruto then orders, some chicken ramen, pretty much, which he eats as he talks to the old man. As the old man is saying, I know things are going well, pretty much, the shops, we're actually thinking of expanding our restaurant, to go, like, to go to, like, have more around the village, pretty much. Which Naruto is like, yeah, that might be interesting, if you need anything, you just tell me, pretty much. Which, they're pretty much happy about, the support of Minato, pretty much, and they're like, okay, sure. Soon after Naruto eats his ramen, they head back, to the Namikaze or Senju compound, pretty much, or Senju Namikaze Uzumaki compound, where, it's almost nightfall. Naruto then goes straight to bed as he says goodbye to his father. Minato then goes into his study as he calls, Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Shizune. So pretty much Minato then tells, Jiraiya and Tsunade what he saw about, when he told Naruto to unlock his chakra, pretty much, his chakra then exploded outwards. It's just amount of 3 tails, pretty much. Which they're surprised, like 3 times the amount of chakra. That's a lot of chakra. Which medicine says it's probably a side effect of of having the nine-tailed suit inside of him. So yeah, pretty much he's gonna become a strong shinobi. And Naruto then tells us about Naruto's wood style, which he says I think he was also inherited Hashirama Ji's wood style. Which Tsunade is like, wood style? What do you mean, Minato? As Naruto then starts to explain that Naruto seems to be well attuned with nature energy, which Jiraiya is like, interesting. Seems like, actually learning, Sage Mode might be easy for young Naruto. Vishnu then says, yeah, it might be. So, I'm going to ask Yamato if he can train Naruto, and using the wood style. But it has to be kept secret, pretty much. They then not pretty much promising this as a secret. So, I'm going to time skip this, to like a few months later. Naruto has been training pretty much very, very hard. He's been training, with Tsunade. He's like near to mastery of, like the 100 healings technique. He has a diamond on his forehead, pretty much like Tsunade, and one on his arm. He has 2 diamonds, one on his forehead and one on his arm. So the arm, is like, he uses it, to like increase his punches and everything. As well as, he has also been learning, some of Tsunade's, excellent healing techniques. Naruto, learned how to summon from Jiraiya, as he can also summon Katsuyu and Gamabunta, his father summon. Naruto's like, proper summon is Kamakichi. Jiraiya summon is Kamamaru, so Jiraiya is Kamamaru. Um, Minato is Gamabunta, and Naruto is Kamakichi, I think. Yeah, I think that's Naruto's proper summon. So continuing on with the story, Naruto's learned how to summon your summons pretty much. He knows how to use them and strategize with them in battle. So yeah, but Naruto's, I'm not, it might seem as if I'm ranking Naruto too fast for this, but guys, you have to understand this. Naruto is a freaking prodigy, guys. You just gotta understand. He's a freaking prodigy. So so continuing on. So yeah, continuing on with the story. Naruto, continued to learn on. He was also began his training with Yamato on the wood style, which Naruto is pretty adept at using more than Yamato himself. Naruto is much more capable since it comes to Naruto naturally. So Naruto has mastered full jutsus like the wood clone and the wood spikes pretty much, and wood style nativity world of trees pretty much, just like what he has mastered to an extent. So it's now time pretty much for the Naruto to enter the academy. Naruto enters the academy when he's 8 years old, along with the other clan, clan heirs. So this academy class is pretty much filled with clan heirs. Naruto did one thing, key point: Shinobis are the ones who manage, shinobi matters. Minato also, took away the power of, the civilian clan. The civilian, he took away most of their power. So, they don't just call random meetings like what they did to the third Hokage, since, the third Hokage was soft and lenient. So, Minato, rules the Leaf Village, with a freaking iron fist, pretty much, but he is fair and just to pretty much everyone. So today is the day Naruto enters the academy. Naruto, has done his morning rituals, put on his clothes, is now heading over to the academy. He then arrives at the academy, where he sees his father there. His father, like ruffles his hair and says, "Hey, Naruto, this is your first day, I hope you enjoy it." Pretty much, then nods as he heads inside. Naruto's teacher, is still Iruka Umino, pretty much. As, they then, start learning, pretty much. So, Iruka starts to teach them, the history, of the villages, history on chakra, the sage of the six parts, all that important stuff, pretty much, as they continue learning on. They then, reach the time when they have to go, test their skills on the spars, pretty much, which, Iruka's like, it's time for spars, So people, usually like battle, they do the same thing as they did in canon until we reach the battle of, of Naruto and Sasuke. May Naruto, Uzumaki, Namikaze, Senju, as well as Sasuke Uchiha come into the ring. So, Sasuke and Naruto, go into the ring as, Sasuke smiles and says, "Alright, dope, I'm gonna beat you and, prove, that I'm stronger than you." Which Naruto, chuckles and says, "Keep trying, Sasuke." As him and Naruto, start to fight. So Sasuke, throws a punch, Naruto ducks into the punch and uppercuts Sasuke, sending him up into the air. Sasuke, comes down with incredible force as he slams his back. Sasuke greets his teeth as he runs to some hands. His fire style, fireball jutsu, pretty much throws a fireball at Naruto. Naruto dodges this fireball as he then launches, a technique of his own, wind style Gale Palmer, slams the Gale Palmer into Sasuke, knocking him the fuck out. So Sasuke pretty much knocked the fuck out and he cannot do shit, pretty much. So continuing on with the story, after everything is ended, they eventually head back home. So just to piss on you guys, this is gonna end the freaking story. I hope you enjoyed. 15 likes for the next part. Guys, my upload schedule is gonna be changing in the next week because I'm also gonna start going back to school now. Yeah, I haven't finished school yet, so I have to go. So so it might be a bit tight. So I might not be uploading for a bit. So I'm gonna upload as many videos as I can today, and during the course of this next following days, pretty much. So I think by 6 September, I might be going back at school. So I hope you enjoy the content, guys. Thank you guys, for everything you've been doing for this channel, pretty much. I'm gonna keep on growing, guys, and you guys behind me, right, it encourages me the most. Thank you to all my subscribers and anyone. So if you guys have any ideas you want me to make, I'm free to open ears. Peace out, guys.